All right. Welcome to Off the Rail Sports Podcast. I'm your host, John. And if you could kindly hit that like and subscribe button, it means a lot to us. Seems like we're going to go through what happened on our beautiful Thursday. Welcome to your Friday. We're going to catch you up to date for what's going on in the world of sports, and hopefully you have a good weekend. There's going to be a lot of great sports to watch. Baseball is in full throw. We got the NHL playoffs. We got the NBA playoffs. We got golf. We got a lot going on. It's a busy time of year. I tell you, they got to do something to fill that void before football starts rolling back, huh? All right, let's start in the association, the National Basketball Association. Jalen Brunson put a dagger in the hearts of the Pistons. Clutch three with 5.1 seconds left to win 116-113. I thought Detroit was the better team. The Knicks move on. Maybe that's playoff experience. Maybe it's just they're the better team. Maybe I didn't see it. But they played better. Towns was good. Brunson really rose to the moment. The Pistons were a tough out. They played great basketball. I look forward to seeing what they're going to do in the offseason, adding some pieces for Cade Cunningham and the boys. They've spent a lot of money, but, I think they're one of those teams that does have one or two moves in them. Let's talk about the Clippers. In Game 6, vital Game 6, they were down 3-2 elimination game. They turned back the Denver Nuggets, 111-105. This was a game for Denver to have. They missed a lot of open looks. But you know what? At the end of the day, that's just how it goes. Some days you hit them, some days you don't. And you got to live with the repercussions of it. Harden, 28 points. It's so funny. After Game 5, all these pundits were like, the Clippers are done. Harden sucks. Okay, he had a bad game in Game 5. I'm not going to argue that. The team didn't play well, but you're taking the result and making a narrative to fit it. And it doesn't always happen. Sometimes you just have a bad game. I mean, I really thought the Clippers were going to come home in Game 6 and win. I mean, they do have a significant home court advantage here, right? Harden, 28 points. Powell, 24. Kawhi, 27. Those three made up the bulk of the scoring. It's the same thing as Denver between, Jokic and Murray. I mean, maybe every so often you get Michael Porter Jr. to come in or Aaron Gordon. But for the most part, it's those guys. This isn't OKC or even Houston. We're going to see what happens there. J.J. Redick, coach of the Lakers, in his farewell for the season press conference, threw down the gauntlet, said the Lakers must get in championship shape. Truly, I think this is about as idiotic as you can say. They have an old roster. What do you want to say? Okay, you don't have Anthony Davis anymore, but LeBron, he's going to be 42 next season. I mean, at what point does the injury come? And I hope it doesn't. I'm not wishing it in on him, but it sure as hell is a lot easier to have an injury at 42 than it is at 24. Obviously. And Luka was great, but he was a little banged up at the end. He never really seemed to get to that place. Maybe the FU to Dallas here will get him into a better place. I mean, to me, I wish he was on our Celtics, but no such luck. We got Tatum, we got Brunson. That's all we need. Okay, let's talk about what happened in the National Hockey League last night, my friends. The Maple Leafs beat the Senators. Ended that series 4-2. Golden Knights got a big win in Minnesota. Edged out that series 4-2. Golden Knights won 3-2. Michael Stone, goal and an assist. The Knights, be very aware. The Avalanche got a fluky goal and two late empty net goals to win 7-4. They were down 4-3 going into the third period. Things just turned around. It's just one of those games. Now we're going to a Game 7 in Dallas. I believe it's on Saturday night. Can't wait. Going to be much-see hockey. I am going to talk about what was truly a giveaway series. We had the Oilers and the Kings. The Oilers finished out that series, won 6-4, won 4-2. The Kings had this series. The first two periods, they were world beaters. And the last period, they were like my little rec league team. Scott picked the Oilers before this series. I was worried about the youth and the athleticism of the Kings. Maybe the Kings are going to learn from it. I think this is the fourth straight year they've lost to the Oilers in the first round. At some point, you have to find something to offset Draisaitl and McDavid. I don't know what that is, but whatever it is, you don't have it. And you better find it this offseason. All right, let's get down to MLB, one of my favorite sports. Had a great talk with Brian. I highly suggest you look at it. I actually got one on Brian. Yeah. I mean, we might as well mark that day down like it's 9/11. You know, Brian, he's he is so cynical about the Red Sox, and I love that about him, right? But he is so optimistic about everything else, and especially Mike Trout. Mike Trout is a great baseball player. He recognizes the greatness of him, and Mike came down with a freak injury. Right now, they're talking about his kneecap, whatever. He's out. And I don't take any pleasure in this. I don't. I really don't. Well, maybe a little. But only because Brian was like, yeah, I think he's going to play 130, 140 games before the season. I'm telling you right now, if you're an Angel fan, if you're a fan of just the great Mike Trout, this might be the end of his season. And I know it's incredibly, you know, hey, quit being so negative, Jay. But look at the history. Look at last year. He was rolling. He was having a good year. Things didn't quite work out, and then all of a sudden he had a knee sprain, and that was it for the season. These things happen, and there's nobody who tries harder than Mike Trout. I'm not impugning his work ethic, what he is, who he is, and what he's accomplished. He's insane. He's a Hall of Famer, first ballot. But at the end of the day, Father Time does catch up with you. I keep thinking about Willie Mays striking out with the Mets and the fans booing him. Yeah, okay, there you are, 1973, right? Cubs beat the Pirates 8-3. Reds took down the Cardinals 9-1. Cardinals 14-18. They're 4-13 away from home. I mean, wow. 10-5 at home. Jesus, man. The Reds 2 games over 500 at 17-15. D-backs beat the Mets 4-2. D-backs still 3 games over 500. Mets best record in baseball, 21-11. Royals won again. They are the hot team that nobody is talking about. 8-2 over the Rays. They are just on fire. 17-15. They really were in a hole, and they are really coming on strong. The Guardians beat the Twins 4-3. Guardians 18-13. Twins 13-19. 4-13 away from home. Man, you better get back to some of that home cooking, Brian Buxton. Looks like the White Sox, my little underdogs, God bless them. They finally eked out a win. They got that magical 8th win of the year. Beat the Brewers 8-0. Athletics, the Rangers are in a slump. They are 16-16, and the last week, man, they just can't buy a hit. They can't buy a run. Athletics beat them and sweep them 3-0. Nationals beat the Phillies 4-2. Phillies still 17-14. I was really impressed, and it's why I recommend you listen to the other podcast with me and Scott and me and Brian. Brian came up with, trading Jamie Duran from the Red Sox because they do need a center fielder and they do need a leadoff hitter in Philadelphia. Yeah, it made a lot of sense. The more I thought about it later in the day, I was like, yeah, that's some really strong stuff, really strong stuff. Blue Jays beat my Red Sox 4-2. Just when I think the Red Sox are going to do something, they just kick it into reverse. They just break your heart. Angels gave away a game to the Tigers, leading 4-2 into the 8th, and then the Tigers put on 6 runs in the last 2 innings. 10-4. The Angels just going the wrong way real quick. And in the upset of the night, the Rockies in the nightcap got their 6th win. Amazing win, 4-3 over the Giants in San Francisco. Break up the effing Rockies. I don't even know what to tell you. All right, but I do know what to say. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you soon on Off the Rails.